Hi everyone, this is Joseph again after a very long time not posting anything here on the channel, but life was doing its things. And yeah, here I am posting again, but not about any scholarships or opportunities as I am used to. Just a small announcement about that though at the end of the video, so you better watch it at the end. But today the reason I'm filming this video for is that because I've been thinking a lot lately about the invisible things that shape us. Not the achievements or the certificates or anything like that, but the quiet moments in between, the waiting, the uncertainty. And this video is about one of those things. It's about patience. Not the kind we casually throw around in conversations, but the kind that forces you to sit with discomfort and to keep showing up when there's no applause and to trust something is growing even when you can't see it. So let me take you guys back to 2020, right after I finished grade 9. That was the year I tried to apply for STEM schools here in Egypt. And for those who don't know, STEM schools are highly competitive schools focused on science, math, technology, and engineering. And they are designed for the top students in the country. And for me, it was more than an opportunity as it was my only shot at the kind of education I had always wanted. See, I had spent over 12 years in the same school, and while I'm really grateful for the foundation it gave me, I know there had to be more. I wanted something that could really fuel my passion for the subjects I was interested in, like chemistry for example, and also challenge me in new ways. So I applied to STEM schools with high hopes, but during the entrance exams I faced some serious technical issues and I didn't get in. And that was my first real taste of rejection. It hurt, but it also woke me up. That moment taught me that sometimes the dream doesn't happen the way you planned, and that's where patience starts. A lot of questions came to my mind during that time, like what do I do when I have done my part and the outcome is still out of my hands? I turned to my old school, it was familiar, even comforting in some ways, but I knew I had outgrown it. Not because it was small, not because my questions had gotten bigger, and that's when I started looking outward again, searching. By late 2020, a friend introduced me to ALA, the African Leadership Academy. We both applied together for all of the excitement, but during early 2021, this timing brought something I've never expected. My friend passed away during the application process, and it was heartbreaking because this was my first experience losing someone who's really close to me. Let me tell you that nothing prepares you for loss, especially the kind that comes just as the doors begins to open. That was when patience stopped being a word for me and started becoming a way of survival. It was no longer about getting into schools or achieving dreams, but it was about holding myself together in silence and learning how to grieve without collapsing. By late 2021, I had learned more about ALA, I had grown, and I was more confident by applying. And that year, I applied again, not just to ALA's main program, but to their leadership camps too, GSP, ELP. I even applied for more than 10 abroad schools like UWC and TGS. And guess what? I got rejected from every single one. Every single one. I won't lie, it shocked me, and I began to ask myself, was I chasing something I wasn't meant for? But that's the thing about patience, it teaches you that some rejections aren't punishments, they are pauses, spaces between who you are and who you are becoming. Then came 2022, third time applying to ALA. This time, I tried my best to show up differently. I saw feedback, not just to get into the school, but understand myself in a better way. I wrote with more honesty, more depth, and even when I became a finalist, thankfully, I traveled 8 hours from my home to Cairo for the interviews, and I wrote 2 long months caught between exhaustion and hope. And finally, it came, that moment, acceptance. That email had changed everything. It was an acceptance into a new version of myself, and it felt like the past 3 years, the pain, the rejections, the solitude, had all converged into this one quiet victory, I would say. And for my family, it was monumental, because I would be the first to study abroad, the first to take such a leap. But with that leap came fear on both sides. My parents were letting go of their son for something they have never experienced. I was stepping into the unknown. I was like 17, 18 years old during the time. I was still young. I still remember my first flight, first passport, first time leaving Egypt. And during that time, I began to realize that this journey I was on wasn't just geographical, it was also internal. ALA gave me so many firsts. My first time outside Egypt, my first time speaking English all day, my first time living with people from dozens of different cultures. It was overwhelming, but I had this quote at the top of my room, the ceiling, which says, I planted my feet, so I'm here to grow. And every time I doubted myself, I returned to that quote. When I first arrived at ALA, I wasn't the most social person. I used to be shy, and that changed a lot, by the way. I was unsure of how to start conversations, but at ALA, I knew I had to push myself slowly. I started building friendships with the patients, and the people I met, they became like a family. We laughed, struggled, cried, and grew together. Meeting my friends at ALA was the best thing that ever happened to me, honestly. Meeting those amazing people who really helped me a lot and supported me in so many situations I was struggling with. So, shout out to all my friends at ALA. Love you guys a lot, and I really, really appreciate you all. And through it all, the quiet thread tying everything together: patience. When I nearly faced a DC case in my first term, nearly I didn't get any DC cases. When I missed home more than I can explain. When I scored 14 out of 39 on a test that made me question all my mathematical skills. When I had to keep up with the ALA's hectic environment of academics, leadership, and services. And my ALA kids will understand how this week where everything comes at once feels. And at one point, I felt like I hit rock bottom. Patience became the muscle I've been training the most, and also the quite almost invisible strength that said, stay even when it's hard, but especially when it's hard. Year one ended, and it was a great year, honestly. I really enjoyed my time there. Then came year two. Everyone told me it would be even more intense, and they were right. College applications, final grades, community projects, personal projects, the pressure felt endless. And I really worked hard for those 3 months straight, trying to build up my connections with my friends, writing my college essays, and pushing myself every single day. Then came November 15th, the big, big, big day. The day I submitted my first college application. هذا كان 15.
We're submitting with the beat drop of this iconic song.
ارقص بقى هاي.
جوزيف، شنو احساسك في اللحظه هذه؟ قول لنا شنو احساسك، شنو احساسك؟
مش عارف.
مازال it's not now. استنى.
Although it was a fun moment, as you may have seen, it was scary because in 2023 I applied to 20 colleges and got rejected from every single one. So going through the whole process again felt a bit terrifying. So yeah, having submit this time took courage I didn't know I had, honestly. Patience during the time took a new form in a way that is more than hope but also as a discipline. Because while I was waiting, life kept happening. Exams came, events happened, even when I went back home for the winter break after a 9 hour flight. I still hadn't heard anything from my college. I was stuck in a loop of questions. What will happen? What if I don't get in? What's next? But once again, I waited.
And I always find something wrong. You've been putting
It
up
was a
with
great
my
moment, guys, I'm not gonna lie. And eventually, a little relief came, some of the pressure lifted, and I got into my dream school, Kenyon. the one I got waitlisted from in 2023 and then got rejected. With this pressure being lifted, I still had to prepare for my final exams, my CIEs, and keep pushing myself to improve my connections with my friends who were getting ready to leave in a few months, and I found myself wondering, how will I keep these friendships alive? Patience again showed up in making my best to build up my friendships and making sure to have time to spend with them during the really hectic schedules at ALA. Then came May 12th, my US visa interview. I wasn't nervous at first because everyone around me got their visas easily, but for me, it was never the case. My interview didn't go as planned, and I was told I wouldn't be able to get my visa now and was asked to submit extra documents. And while others got their visas in days, mine didn't come. And I am stuck there for more than 3 months, not knowing when I will get my visa. And let me tell you, this waiting, it's the hardest kind because it's not just about a visa, I'd say. It's about the future, my dream school, the years of effort I was putting in since I was 15 and 16. And all of this is hanging on a decision that I can't even control. But I have learned this. Patience is not passive, it's not doing nothing. It's actively trusting that this too, the waiting, is part of the story. And that sometimes not getting what I want immediately is a gift wrapped in disguise. And over the past 5 years, I have come to see patience as a rebellion against pressure, against the voice that says you need to have it all figured out by 18, against the illusion that everyone else is ahead and you are falling behind. For example, after my high school academic years in Egypt, I went for 2 more years at ALA and I had to defer my college enrollment by a semester because of my visa issues. As a matter of fact, my high school friends here in Egypt almost getting graduating and I'm about to start my college journey. So thinking about this was a bit hard to be honest because we live in a world obsessed with speed, fast results, instant success, and overnight fame. But this is what I'm starting to understand, and maybe this will help you too. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to be just one thing. You are not behind, you are just becoming. We are allowed to shift, to change, to grow, to fail and try again, and to become something new. And maybe, just maybe, that journey is enough. And if you are a religious person, this is for you because I used to always struggle with the idea of God's timing since 2020. When I got into ALA in 2023, I asked God, please, why did you keep me waiting for all the time? I'm literally the same person. Why this year? And maybe it's because God wanted me to meet friends that I would have never met in any other year than my 2 years at ALA and to receive specific kind of support. This was just the perfect timing. Same with Kenyon. Why when I applied in 2023 I got rejected, but when I applied again in 2025 I got in? Why I waited for 2 more years? Again, it's the same person. And with the issue of my visa, I asked again, why all my friends got theirs in literally weeks and days, but I meant to wait for more than 3 months and also had to be forced to defer my enrollment by a semester. However, I had the chance to understand the reason for that, which is simply to be next to my family, because there was a lot of situations happening parallel with my traveling time to the US, and my presence with my family during that time was extremely important. And I can't even imagine what would happen if I wasn't with my family during that time. So, if you are someone who's really struggling with the idea of God's timing, here's my experience, and I want to share with you one verse that really kept me going and believing in God's timing when I was questioning it every single day. In Romans chapter 8 verses 18 it says, I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. If it weren't for the struggles, guys, you wouldn't be as strong as you are today. God is always building you up even when it feels like He's breaking you. This was really one of the most important and valuable lessons that I have learned during this time. So to sum up the lessons that I have learned, here are 5 lessons that I want to share with you guys. Number 1, there will always be a situation you think you will never get over and you will always do. Number 2, you have survived a lot and will survive whatever is coming. Number 3, ships don't sink because of the water around them, but because of the water that gets inside them. Please guys, don't let whatever is happening around you get into you and weigh you down. Number 4, trust God and yourself and it will turn out better than you could ever imagine. Number 5 and the last one, Be grateful for everything. I tried my best to be grateful that I received good education in the first place during my time in the academy, and when I faced issues with my visa, I also tried my best to be grateful for the offer I had from my college. So staying grateful in the midst of those kind of situations can be a bit hard, but we try our best. And speaking of going, today marks a big moment for me because I'm launching something new I have been building quietly from over the past few months, which is Fastamerra. It's an Arabic word that means to continue or to keep pushing, and through this project, I want to share the lessons I have learned, the mistakes I have made, and the opportunities I have found. I want to help students like everyone watching this video who might be stuck, confused, rejected, or simply waiting to discover the value of patience just like I did. We will talk about opportunities, mindset, education, and everything in between. Because patience isn't just a virtue, but it's a strategy, a path, and most importantly, a power. So, if you ever felt like giving up, I hope this reminded you that you are not alone. And if you're curious about Fastamerra, all the links will be in the description. Follow along, we are just getting started. Thank you everyone for watching this video and for being here. And always remember, Fastamerra, keep going because maybe the journey really is enough.